Hey there, and welcome to the Sunny Daze Podcast. I'm your host, Jolly. Thanks for joining us today for some uplifting stories, some did you know, and more. So let's grab that cup of sunshine and get started. First up today, Chef D. Arthurs. From culinary dropout to Food Network star, here is Chef D. Arthur's remarkable story. In the words of Michael Chabon, if you want to make God laugh, just tell him your plans. It's a phrase that resonates deeply with many of us. We've all had moments where we confidently laid out a roadmap for our lives only to find ourselves rerouted down unexpected and sometimes far better paths. That's exactly what happened to Chef Desmond Robinson, better known as Chef D. Arthur. Raised in Memphis, Tennessee, and now a Brooklyn based culinary powerhouse, D. Arthur's journey to become a sought after chef and a competitor on Food Network's Chopped was anything but straightforward. Inspired by the cooking traditions of his grandmother, his mom, his aunt, and his godmother, young D. Arthur dreamed of a future in the kitchen. His initial plan was to attend the International Culinary School at the Art Institute of Atlanta, but life had other ideas. Financial hurdles forced him to drop out after only a few weeks, leaving him temporarily sidelined from his culinary goals. Still, D. Arthur didn't let that setback define him. He returned to school, earning a master's degree in higher education administration from Louisiana State University. He built a successful career outside the kitchen, working in education and health training roles. Yet the pull of the culinary world, it never left him. In 2011, D. Arthur took a leap of faith. With no formal culinary training or restaurant experience, he launched his own catering business, D. Arthur Catering. His unique approach? Well, drawing from the traditions he learned at home, set him apart. Over the years, his talent and dedication turned that small catering company into a thriving enterprise, serving clients ranging from NBA teams to private event hosts. Despite his success, stepping onto the Chopped stage remained a daunting prospect. The self taught chef faced his fears of imposter syndrome and embraced the challenge. When asked how he felt about competing, Chef D. Arthur said, Chopped has always been intimidating to me. Competing on Chopped was my way of looking my fears and my insecurities directly in the face, and I did not back down. Oh, good for you, Chef. Today, Chef D. Arthur's career is a testament to the power of resilience and re-imaging what's possible. He travels the world, crafting unforgettable meals and inspiring the next generation of chefs. His advice for dreamers? You have to really believe that your dreams will become a reality. Cling to the notion your success feverishly. Then put your heart, your soul, your faith, discipline, and hard work into it. Excellent story. For more on Chef D. Arthur's incredible journey in culinary creations, you can find him online, and I believe he's also on Instagram, where he continues to share his passion, his story, and his unstoppable belief in the power of following your dreams. And now, another powerful story. This one centers on a whole community's effort brought together by not one person, but one person who really started it all, an effort in Springfield, Massachusetts. Last year, the city faced a daunting challenge. A beloved community center, which had served as a hub for education, food assistance, and job training for decades, was on the verge of closing due to funding cuts. The center's closure would have left thousands without essential services and a place to gather. Determined to save it, a local teacher named Maria Lopez took the lead. She initiated a crowdfunding campaign, reached out to local businesses for sponsorships, and organized benefit events, including a citywide 5K run, an arts festival featuring local performers and craftspeople. Maria's grassroots efforts quickly gained traction, uniting residents, nonprofits, and even Springfield's small business owners in a common cause. By September of last year, the campaign had raised enough money not only to keep the community center open, but also to fund critical repairs and expand its programming. Marie's efforts demonstrated the power of a community rallying together and reminded everyone of the impact one determined individual can have when they inspire those around them. This success story from Springfield highlights how collective action can overcome challenges and transform adversity into a renewed sense of hope and possibility. Thank you, Miss Maria. A sunny day shout out to you. Well, how about some did you know about the solar system in January? Did you know in January the Earth is closest to the sun during its orbit? Despite this proximity, the northern hemisphere feels cold because it's tilted away from the sun, proving that seasons are influenced more by tilt than distance. And did you know that Saturn's rings are so thin that viewed edge on, they can virtually disappear? Although January doesn't mark a specific ring plane crossing, the subtle tilts and lighting changes throughout the year mean astronomers still keep an eye on these shifts. And Mars often experiences regional dust storms that can grow in size, especially during its southern summer. While not as intense and as massive as the storms that engulf the entire planet, smaller storms in January highlight the dynamic Martian atmosphere. And did you recently see that full moon this past week? The moon's phases in orbit vary slightly each month. In January, its apparent size is slightly larger, being closest point to Earth, giving sky watchers a subtly bigger and brighter full moon, sometimes called a wolf moon. And did you know that Venus, known as the evening star, often shines brilliantly in the western sky after sunset during the early months of the year, January and February? Its bright appearance in January makes it a lovely celestial beacon as daylight fades. And how about getting on to the entertainment news? Well, currently in theaters, a quick rundown, we've got Den of Thieves 2, Pantera. It's a sequel to the action-based heist thriller. The film follows Big Nick as he crosses the Atlantic to track down Donnie in Europe. The chase leads through the dangerous underworld of international crime, delivering the same gritty and intensity as the original. And Mufasa is out, The Lion King, a prequel to 2019 remake of The Lion King. This story delves into the rise of Mufasa, exploring how the beloved character went from a cub to the noble king of the Pride Lands. It's a tale of legacy, courage, and destiny. And how about Sonic the Hedgehog 3, the third installment in the live action CGI franchise? Sonic the Hedgehog 3 continues the adventures of Sonic and his friends as they face a powerful new enemy, hinting at Shadow the Hedgehog's long awaited arrival. Expect more high speed fun and adventure. And how about Moana 2, a follow up to the beloved Disney animated film Moana? Explores Moana's further adventures as a and leader of her people. The sequel promises to expand the world of the Pacific Islands and deepen the themes of courage, family, and tradition. And then there's Wicked, the long anticipated film adaptation of the hit Broadway musical. Wicked offers a fresh perspective of the world of The Wizard of Oz. It tells the story of Elphaba, the future Wicked Witch of the West, and Glinda, the Good Witch, revealing their complicated friendship and events that shaped them long before Dorothy's arrival. Oh, sounds like something for everyone, huh? And in the music world, well, here's a few of the singles that are in the top Billboard 100s. That would be Die With a Smile, Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. A Bar Song with Shabuzi. Lose Control. Longest on chart, Teddy Swims. And That's So True with Gracie Abrams. Good tunes out as well. And last but not least, a Jolly Chat story. A story we'll call A Ride to Remember. The sun was shining over Sunny Lane Elementary as the Bike Safety Club gathered for their very first riding lesson. 7 eager first graders, Amber, Helena, Joyce, Harry, Cameron, Ryder, and Ella, lined up with their new helmets strapped snugly. Mr. Hastings, a kind and patient teacher, held up his whistle, while Miss Bella, known for her encouraging cheers, stood by each student, steadying their bikes. All right, everyone, Mr. Hastings called. Today's the day we conquered those 2 wheels. The kids exchanged nervous glances, but their excitement quickly overtook their fears. The instructors walked them through the basics, balancing, braking, pedaling, before the moment of truth arrived. Just remember, Miss Bella said with a warm smile, you're never alone. We're right here to help. One by one, the children began to pedal. Amber was the first to wobble down the school's practice path, grinning from ear to ear as she kept her balance. Soon, Helena and Joyce followed. Their squeals of delight echoed across the playground. Harry, who had been a bit hesitant, let out a loud, I'm doing it, as he sped forward. Cameron and Ryder, even the daredevils, raced each other in circles. Their laughter was contagious. And Ella, who had struggled at first, finally let go of Miss Bella's hand and sailed down the lane, her face beaming with pride. By the end of the hour, every single member of the Bike Safety Club was riding on their own. They celebrated with high fives, juice boxes, and the promise of even more adventures on wheels. The club was quickly becoming the talk of the school. And with Mr. Hastings and Miss Bella leading the charge, it wasn't long before new students were lining up to join. It was a ride none of them would ever forget, one that taught them not just how to balance on a bike, but also the joy of achieving something together. The end. Well, we've come to the end of another Sunny Days episode. Let us remember that the stories we've shared can serve as a reminder of the goodness that surrounds us every day. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So find your beauty, shine, and share it. Remember to spread love, joy, and positivity whenever and wherever you go. We'll see you next week with more stories, some entertainment news, and some fun facts. Until then, peace and love always.